on the strategy side, I have to say, Sylvain, of all the CDOs that I've worked with in terms of their blueprint, yours has been the most comprehensive, well thought out in terms of roadmap, and in terms of a practical approach, a measured approach for change management and adoption. One of the questions that often we get from our customers is, how do you prioritize those use cases and create a roadmap that communicates how individual projects are related and build upon each other? And again, this is part of that communication and expectation setting. So tell us a little bit more about how you did that.
Yeah, it touches on our operating model in the sense that data management is a critical function of the firm, but would not exist without the businesses that need us. So we have the starting point for everything we do from a prioritization standpoint is our ownership stewardship meetings. We have those meetings on a monthly basis. And so a data owner with his data steward will meet, and they will define what the priorities are for the next period of time, whatever it is. Maybe it's going to be a month, maybe it's going to be a quarter, but at least every month we review the priorities with the data owner. So we know what the priorities are for marketing, what the priorities are for investment or for salespeople. We know that because we have these meetings on a regular basis. So once we have that, we have the stewardship forum where we start looking into, okay, well, this is the book of work. We call it the book of work because that's what everybody told us we need to work on. And then we start looking into, is it possible? Do we have the resources? Do we have conflicts in priorities and these kind of things? And then we kind of do that within the stewardship forum to understand the dependencies and these kind of things. So it's really among the data management team that we actually do these kind of things. And when we come back to the owners and we realize that we cannot deliver what they ask us to deliver, then we have the last resort in some ways is what we call the enterprise data forum. Most companies would call it data council, but for us, it's a forum for regulatory reasons. And there we have most of the execs of the firm and the senior managers of the firm. So when I come to the forum and I say, guys, this is our book of work, and these are all the things that don't work because dependencies are not met or because resources are not available and these kind of things, then we make a decision at that level. So if you think of it, data ownership at the bottom level, very critical. The stewardship forum to be some kind of a filtering mechanism. And on top, the EDF, the data forum, to prioritize and resolve conflicts. So that's simple, but very efficient.
Yeah, I think that, the thing is with limited resources, it's all about a series of trade-offs. And these projects that you're talking about have a direct line of sight to business objectives. And so I love how you described the analysis and thought process that goes into supporting, which objectives would we like to move forward with and put our resources and priorities around, because they have a tangible benefit, and in getting people involved in that decision making, because then that, you can get a sense for, this is so meaningful to me. You can probably see that passion come out from different folks that are part of that firm to advocate for their project. So all very important to get everybody on board and behind the efforts.
And there are common themes also. Like, for example, our strategy has always been to deliver self-service to whoever in the firm needs data. Yeah. Okay. So that goes far beyond a single data set, because the reason why we want self-service is for people to blend multiple data sets through the architecture. So that's really important for everybody. But at the same time, we want them, the self-service users, to know that the data they are accessing is of the good enough quality. So we have that concept of data readiness, which would become data certification at one point once we are more mature about this. But our data readiness concept is to say what we expose through architecture. We have a data lake, we have multiple points of access on the lake and these kind of things. What we expose there has been deemed ready for consumption because it fits a few criteria, either mastering the right architecture, the right control, all these kind of things. So we have a framework to say, well, that data set, transactions, for example, or prices, whatever they are, they're stamped, ready for consumption. So that helps in the big scheme of things in a company like ours, where when objectives can be across multiple departments, what we're trying to do is put the infrastructure behind it to serve everybody at the same time through the same mechanisms, even though they are not single department priorities per se.